Welcome to the SAM CRM Revolution event. This is going to be a really fun one because what we're going to be looking at is the modern approach to real estate technology and the tools that we use inside our businesses to actually be successful. And the TLDR on this is technology has come a very long way since the system that you are probably using, whether it's broker provided, brand included, or just one that you picked up on your own, was actually built. And oftentimes what I've learned is the systems that you're probably in or have tried before are hired out by companies that sometimes aren't even technology companies in the real estate space. So you've got people building these systems that have no clue what you as a real estate agent do, on top of the fact that a lot of these software companies are outdated, they're old, and they're not looking to look at modern advancements in technology. Well, there's been a very large one that happened in the last couple of years, and it is AI. And so when you start realizing the power of AI, when we infuse it into our real estate technology to not only help us do our job, but more importantly, make us stand out as the experts in real estate and really humanize us to our clients, we are going to unlock some really cool things. So this training is going to be kind of going over exactly what that means. Now, if you find yourself wondering, gosh, who is this guy talking to me? My name is Cody Stepp, and I own a real estate software company, but my work sits in the intersection of real estate, technology, and AI. And I personally believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, these traditional CRMs are going to be obsolete. And I believe this because I am the one who is building their replacement. And that replacement is SAM. And so hopefully we can have some fun today looking at exactly what that is. If you guys want a little bit of background on my history, I have been in real estate technology professionally for the last 6, almost 7 years. But really, my first day of work, if you look on the top left-hand side, was when I was a pretty young child. And that is because I am a second generation real estate technologist. So professionally, almost 7 years, but realistically, I have been enveloped in the real estate technology space since I was very young, working with my father, Mark Stepp, who is the builder and the innovator responsible for 2 of the most widely used real estate CRMs in the space. Well, I, after all these years of learning, was able to start building a platform to help real estate agents build their businesses. And when AI came along and started revolutionizing what tools could actually do, I saw the need for you guys to have a better system. And that's exactly what I have been working to build. So if you guys were to think about the average CRM that you probably have used before, you have access to, well, here's kind of the back end stats on these systems. So 72% of us have some sort of CRM. Like I said, whether it's broker provided, whether it's purchased on your own, or whether the brand includes it in the suite that they offer you, there is a very good chance that that tool is not cutting it for you. And the truth of the matter is the CRM as we know it was a digital adaptation of a tool that actually stems all the way back to the 1960s called the Rolodex. So for some of us young pups over here, the Rolodex is, think of a big circular tube that has lots and lots of business cards in it. And we have to kind of squiggle around and find the right business card. And that would be how we keep track of all of our customers, all of our past clients, and all of our leads. Well, the CRM did a really good job of storing that information, but that's really all they do. We have a couple that have a little modern flair, being able to run workflow automations, which we're going to dive into in just a little bit. But outside of that, in the last 20 to 30 years, realistically, there have not been major advancements. And in the end, you guys are the ones who suffer because of it. So when we think about how real estate agents are using these systems, truthfully, most of these CRMs are failing you as an agent because you have to think through all the follow-ups, you have to write all the messages, you have to build all the automations. And in my career, I've worked with hundreds of real estate agents to build these automations. Some of them I've seen take multiple weeks to build, and these are multi-hundred step automations, which is just crazy to me. How in the world are we going to invest time into building these automations when, gosh, we're already so behind on so many other things? Well, there is a modern answer to all of this, and that is the shift that we have been able to tackle using SAM. SAM is able to not only take all of the contacts that you've stored in your database and learn about them so it can aid you. It could write personal messages for you. You could even share a little bit about the automations you want to build, and it can actually build it for you. And it can build it for you in 2 to 3 minutes. So now I want you to think about the fundamental shift that is happening. I like to say that this is the shift from the Motorola flip phone that I had back in high school all the way to the iPhone 16 that is available today in one go. And for so many agents, they are just now learning what AI even is. So there's an entire industry that is being built. And unfortunately, these monoliths or these big companies in our space are slow to adapt. They're slow to steer. Think about that ship that got stuck in the canal a couple years ago, how slow it was to turn around because it's just so big. And unfortunately, what this means for you is systems that were built by folks who don't even know what you do each and every day are now trying to adapt to modern technology with lots and lots and lots and lots of code that isn't going to work for that adaptation. And at the end of the day, they don't fundamentally understand what you do. So as they're trying to add AI into their systems, I like to say they're duct taping it onto these systems. They're adding it in ways that do not intuitively make sense to help you. Well, that is exactly where SAM comes in to help you out. So hopefully I've set the groundwork for you to understand why we need to look at SAM. So I want to show you guys the Systems Accelerator Manager. Now, we affectionately call it SAM, and hopefully you will too. Now, at the very front, we've got a dashboard, and it's pretty well like most dashboards. You can see what kind of things you have going on, calendar stats, your outbox, any things that you've sent. We can look at our call list, who we need to call, who we're running a little bit behind on getting contacted with. And then we can go into our database. Now, this is just a demo database, so all of this information is fictitious. But one of the things that we can do when we look inside our database, and I'll pull my demo contact, is we can have access to lots and lots of different things. Now, one of the things that's going to set SAM apart is off the bat, this contact preference. Now, when we are working with folks, sometimes they have lots of different ideas as to what they prefer. I know for me, I don't really like being on the phone all that much. And so I like to say, I'm a millennial, don't call me. Well, that probably is a statement that could indicate that I either prefer emails or text messages. So knowing that as you're working with me allows you as the real estate agent to give me a better experience because you're personalizing it to my needs. So inside the system, one of the ways you can do that is your contact preference. Like I said, don't call me. Maybe it's going to be, I prefer receiving information by email. Now, this is a pretty standard behavior that companies will ask for. Do you prefer email or text message? But how often do you see that inside your CRM? Now, the other way you can do that is in your language. One of the really powerful ways that we've been able to help some of our customers is down in Texas. We have a broker who works with lots of different native speaking populations. And so sometimes he needs a template to be written in Spanish. Sometimes he needs a template to be written in English. And inside the system, he can actually inherently convert that as it's going out of the system based on their language preference, meaning every time you're talking to a client, they can receive it in the language that is easiest for them to understand. So these are just two of the ways in which we can personalize messages. But the third one is actually under the personal details as well as the priorities section. Now, priorities is all about what things are your clients dreaming up when they're looking for properties. And then the personal details would be all those little fun facts that you learn about them. But where traditional CRMs are going to hold on to this information, SAM is actually going to be able to take this information and use it inside the messages it creates for you. So an example of this, maybe I send an email and gosh, it's going to be a birthday email, but I don't really know what I want to send. So I could tell Sam, I want to send a happy birthday message using a personal detail from the personal details section to make sure it is friendly and celebratory. So in just saying like, oh, well, here's the overall goal, I can have Sam not only build this content for me, but it's using the information inside the database to make sure it's personalized. So my demo contact says that I enjoy coffee, which I do. And in doing so, Sam was able to say, oh, well, he likes coffee. Let's make sure we include some bits about coffee in this specific message. And in that, I specifically called attention to dark roast, so it calls that up. Now, this is a way that we can quickly and easily make personalized messages that we could send off to contacts. Now, the last thing that I want to showcase in this specific database is our important dates, because this is how we rethink workflow automation. So when I was working with agents in the past, I said that it would take lots and lots of weeks to build out these automations. I'm going to show you how we can actually build it quicker. But all of these automations in the past have been multi-step processes: the contract through close process, the new lead process. And those are sometimes really difficult to understand unless we've been at real estate for a very long time. Now, what this leads to is agents who just simply throw up their hands and don't build automations because they don't know where to start. And so Sam has been able to take this concept and make it so much easier for you, whether you understand how to build systems or not. And that's through the important dates. So all of these different dates are important dates that could have automations tied to them. And anytime they get filled out, it automatically triggers. Now, a great example of this is the birthday. When you learned my birthday, you throw that into my contact, and maybe we have a birthday automated routine built out. And we'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Well, because we had that built out and it was started when you added my birthday, that routine automatically gets started, and then you don't have to worry about it because it got filled out. So this is one of the ways in which we can help create better experiences for our contacts. Now, any good real estate CRM is also going to have access to a properties database. And inside our demo properties, you can see that not only do we have owner information, property details, location, you can also start specific automations based on that. You can look at notes. You could also include external URLs. Now, this is one of my favorite things that you can include because you could actually have merge fields that are pulling URLs from specific properties for specific things like air filter replacements or refrigerator water filters. Now, you build out an automation that puts this into the proper cadence. You know, every 2 to 3 months, you need to replace your air filter. You could send your past clients these notifications helping them out. So some really cool stuff there. You can also have photo galleries. and look at all of the different pieces. But once you have a property that's ready to list, boom, now we have a listing database. You can look at a historical account if it has multiple listings that you've helped deal with. You can look at all of the different pieces from your listing details, showing information, all of your party members. You could even look at the estimated proceeds that you should be expecting, or you could even look at a number of listing offers that you had. You could collect and evaluate which one is the best. And at every step in this, you're using just a little bit of AI's understanding and nuance, powered by myself and my team, understanding what you as a real estate agent do to be able to create something great. Now imagine you'd be able to give a comparative score to your customers, helping them understand, gosh, which offer is the best offer, and then you can move from there. Now, once you have a listing go through, you accept an offer, then you have a transaction made. And the goal would be for you to have a transaction multiple times on a single property because you've been helping them. So you could keep a historic record of all of the different transactions. You could look at all the details, the important transaction dates for starting automations, and all of the different pieces that go into this, including external docs, closing information, or just random notes on this. And then for some of our folks that we work with, they actually are engaged in projects. So we built out a new database for most real estate CRMs called the projects database. Now, inside of this, let's imagine that you and your brokerage work with either contractors or just sellers to actually do some fix and flip, and then they sell the property at the end of it, or they start renting out the property. Well, those kind of projects can be managed inside this database, giving you just an additional ability to manage and oversee your data. Again, at every step in the process, Sam is able to understand and use this information to help you out. So this is how we use our system to inform our real estate. Now, the last little medley of features that I want to showcase, obviously there's a calendar. You can see what's going on each and every day, each and every week. You can look at all of your team members to see what your team has going on. We have access to an outbox to see all of the different messages that have been sent out, any that have errors, what are the ones that are past due or that are going to be sending today, maybe even just drafts. You can also look at a call list to see who you need to call. You can have a entire set of pre-written messages, just like that one-off one that I asked Sam to help me build, or ones that you already have saved, and you can save those into your templates area. And then that brings us to our routines. Now, like I said, routines are just modern workflow automations, and we settled on the name routines because we all have routines in our daily life. I have a morning routine where I wake up, I go brush my teeth, I make some coffee, go for a walk, come back, shower, and then get my day going. That's my morning routine. And because of that, we can look at all of those different important days and ask ourselves, man, what would be the best experience that I could deliver? And that is going to be what makes a routine. So here's an example of a routine for the property photography date process. We're going to send reminders to our seller. We're going to have a photography setup. Maybe we're going to send a Slack message to our team with a shoot reminder. We're going to attend the photography date. And all of this is done based on that photography date being filled in on a specific listing, and boom, ready to go. But let's say we actually need to think of a new routine to build. So all we would need to do is go new routine. Let's call this the new lead routine. And inside our new lead routine, what is the important date that we would want? Well, it's probably when a new lead comes in, it gets filled out, and that is going to be what triggers this. Now, I could go through and I can manually build this traditionally, just like we always have. I could spend weeks and weeks doing that, but maybe I just let Sam build it. Now, the power in this is you don't need to be super technical to have Sam help you. I can literally just share a couple of words. So let's build a new lead email series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. I'm going to let Sam enhance what we're doing on the overall goal of this specific automation. Now he's going to help me develop a comprehensive email series for a new lead. Nailed that. It's going to be 10 messages and it's going to have a cadence over 30 days. I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. And now what Sam is doing is it's looking at what our objective, what is the overall goal for this routine? What are we hoping to build and what are we going to accomplish? And it's going to give me a rough draft of some of the emails and different steps. So step 1, welcome email, step 4, testimonial, pain points. And I'm just going to go ahead and click approve and build. So this is where the power of Sam really comes in, because Sam is now on the task using all of its context of your business, of your specific writing style, as well as the context that AI brings to the table, having read every single book that has ever been written and has ever existed. And so you have the power of an expert in your corner helping you build this automation. It's already finished building all of the steps in this automation, and now it's actually writing all of those messages, like I said a second ago, written in your writing style based on a writing sample that you provided. So Sam is going through and doing all of the heavy lifting for us. And might I add, it's doing it really, really quickly. And so now, instead of wondering, gosh, where do I even start thinking through these automated processes? You just have to have a rough understanding of what you want to build. And then you go through, you have Sam help you build it. And as it's helping you build it, after that is done, all you need to do is go through and quickly review each and every one of these templates, and then make sure that they're well crafted, well written, and something that you personally would like to send to an individual. Then you're ready to go. Now, Sam is almost ready with all of these, and oftentimes it can build an entire automation in 2 to 3 minutes, which, if you think back, we're taking weeks of work and we're truncating it down into 2 to 3 minutes. How crazy is that? I could probably just completely change the industry with this single feature, but this is just where it starts. And this is one of the real kickers into what we're doing, because at the end of the day, we didn't add AI to a CRM. We didn't duct tape it on. We completely rebuilt how we think about technology, and more importantly, how it can help you in your real estate business. So Sam is almost done building out this automation. And once it is, we're going to go ahead and take a look at exactly what it was able to create. And we'll do a little evaluation. How well did it actually do at creating that? So it is now complete, and we have just a medley of different things to look at. But let's look at the educational content email one. So it's going to send 5 days after that automation starts. And I'm going to be the team member who sends this email. Now, this email is sent as a message. It could have done lots of other things. This specific one is a message, and it's going to go to the person this routine was started on, the routine contact. And let's look at this message. So we have some merge fields that are going to pull in a greeting as well as their first name. And this specific one is giving us insights on real estate trends. So technology, substantial living, remote work, urban, all of these different things. This looks pretty good. It's talking about reshaping the landscape in 2024 and moving forward. Maybe I would adjust that to 2025, current year. And, we would finesse a couple of those things. But all in all, that's a pretty good message. And that was done, again, in seconds. So inside of Sam, we have all of this power, but there is one other thing that I want to showcase to you. Now, before I do, there is this new industry of professionals that has popped up. And personally speaking, it kind of frustrates me. And it frustrates me for you because it is a new breed of what I like to think are quasi snake oil salesmen. And we've always had consultant types, and oftentimes these consultant types ask for a lot of money. They come into our business, they don't really do anything for us, and maybe at the end of it, we get some vague direction in which they think we should run for thousands and thousands of dollars. Well, because AI is moving so rapidly, we have what are called AI agents. It's very confusing because you're a real estate agent. So we like to call them AI assistants. They're little task-built robots that can help you in any one specific task. And these consultant types come into your business, they ask for thousands of dollars, and they'll build you a single assistant who can do a single task for you, but they hold the keys to the kingdom. And if it breaks, you have to call them. If you need it adjusted, you have to call them. And I don't think that that is right, because I like to think, well, first off, you should assume that your customers are smart, which I know you're very, very smart. So why shouldn't I assume that? But you should also give them tools that are going to make it easier for them to accomplish things. And so we actually have pre-built out an AI assistant suite into our software. So what this means is you have access to pre-built assistants that can help you with lots of different things, from a social media director that could help you think through all of your social media planning, all of the messages that you're going to send, and maybe even in the future, it could help you schedule out those posts. Now, this specific one's name is Alice, and inside of this, Sam was able to build Alice with all of the different details you need to have context of pre-written, just like that routine. All you have to do is fill in a little bit of documentation, knowledge section on who you are, what types of social media you like to write, and then Alice could start running your social media for you. How crazy is that? Well, there's lots of other ways in which we can do that. Maybe we have a client coordinator whose name is also Alice. That's just the specific voice that it uses. So maybe we name it Bill, and it has pre-written all of the instructions that this specific agent needs. Now, if you wanted to add a different assistant, you could obviously pre-build your own by using a blank assistant, or you could select from some that we've pre-built for you. Maybe it's an open house assistant, or a client coordination, or a transaction coordinator. All of these assistants are designed to help you with your operational pieces to help you be successful. Now, that is the big hitters inside of the system, the things that are fundamentally shifting how your CRM actually works. But this is just the first step. Right now, we have a CRM that can learn all about the information you're adding into it. It can build out the automations that you need to run for those folks and those properties as you move through the transactional process. And you can even build out little custom-built robots that are going to help you with tasks. But the next step is to completely remove the need for you to sit at a computer and manually engage with your CRM. Imagine you're driving to a listing appointment and you're on the phone with someone. And if I was just driving next to you, I would think you're just talking to your significant other or a coworker. But you're actually talking to Sam, your CRM. Sam has full context of who you are, of where you're headed. Oh, and by the way, it's also sharing details about the person you're going to meet. Maybe it's sharing information about the last interactions you had, or fun facts you know about them, so you've got something queued up in your back pocket if things get a little awkward. While you are having that conversation, Sam is also sending out reminder emails and text messages. It's got the next showing already scheduled out, so you don't even have to stress about that. And at the end of the day, all of this is being run through just having conversations. That way your technology isn't taking the front seat, You are taking the front seat as the real estate expert. You're building personal relationships. And that is the power of a modern real estate CRM. Now, I've already helped lots and lots of real estate agents, from single agents all the way up to multiple members in a specific team using SAM. And what they have been able to accomplish in such a small time is crazy. The very first one I was talking about, our friend down in Texas, he likes to host events. So what we've done is we've used our Eventbrite event setup integration, and he can build out events that are in-person events, and he then has it running all through SAM. So now all of it's being managed through SAM. The last event that he had upwards of 70 people show up in person, and he ended up closing something like 17 signed contracts in one night. Things like that are possible because of the tools available to you inside of SAM. Now, some other success stories: a single agent who has been on maternity leave has been using SAM to build out all of the different resources that she is using to bring leads into her business. Once those leads are in her business, she is then able to run automations that start nurturing them through different email series. And at the end of it, they are probably really, really close to becoming customers. And she's done all of the groundwork of helping educate and inform them. So why wouldn't they help her? Because they've already learned from her. And another team is the team that is out there doing those projects where they're not only engaged in real estate, not only engaged in property management, but also engaged in coordinating and facilitating all of these projects. Now imagine being able to run 3 businesses inside of one system. That's the power in using SAM, and that is exactly what I want to give to you. So here is how you can do that. You can go to sam.workflowsecrets.info. You're going to be met with this screen right here. And then what you can do is you can click this sign up button. Now you fill out email, you build out a password, you collect this terms of service, and then you hit sign up. It's going to ask you a couple of questions, and then you'll have access to SAM for 14 days with no credit card needed. It's just pure access. You're going to have access to everything. And then you can start learning about the system. You can start building out some of these automations. You can see how the contact and the properties databases are going to help build new understanding. And you're going to truly start to understand why your current system is so outdated and why, truthfully, it is going to be obsolete in the next 12 to 24 months. But that's what I would like to offer you at the end of this. So go ahead, visit sam.workflowsecrets.info, get access, start learning about the system, start using it, and start engaging in the future of real estate technology. I'm so excited. Thanks for tuning into this and really starting to take a look at this modern tool that is changing real estate technology. It's been a lot of fun for me, and having spent my entire life helping real estate agent, every single time I see an agent who is successful because of their technology, I know that it is possible not just for them, but for you too. And that's what I'm hoping to help give you. So until then, I will see you very soon.